Well, Ted, on the way to the Rumble, you'll have a match with Jake that's pretty significant for your rivalry. Let's go ahead and drop in on this moment and what will be our only clip this week.
DiBiase is really going to work on Mr. Peak. There's no offense here at all on the part of Lee Peak.
Plenty offense from the $1 Million Man, though.
Yeah.
And he's setting him up. He's going for the $1 Million dream. Look at all that. Look at all that cash, McMahon.
Yeah, I'll say. I bet it'd buy you pretty easy. I know one man who wouldn't buy. I think he's with us now.
You're too much, man. DiBiase gonna stand up here and say, if you want the belt, you can come and get it. Brother, we don't need no special invitation sent in the mail, no card, no letter, no nothing. You're good enough for me, and there's no time like the present for Damien and I to do just that.
I wouldn't swear to it, but I think that means what? A Jake the Snake. Here he comes! Jake the Snake coming into the ring! Virgil attacking him. Actually, it's Jake attacking Virgil. DiBiase and Jake the Snake going at it.
Now, what right does Roberts have to come down and interfere in DiBiase's match?
He was invited. You heard what he said. You want it, come and get it. And there it is, the $1 Million belt. And Jake the Snake has it. Jake the Snake has the $1 Million belt in his hand.
This is ridiculous, McMahon. He sneaks into the ring, comes in from the backside, doesn't face DiBiase, man against man. Now look what he's doing with it.
He's saying if you want it, come and get it. Look, Virgil torn between helping DiBiase and coming after the belt. Oh,
that's great.
It's going into the bag with Damien the Snake.
He's a thief, McMahon. He has no right to that belt.
What a reaction Jake got there for stealing the belt, man.
Oh gosh, yeah, and that was priceless. It was, and again, I get asked by fans all the time, like, well, was who was the best guy who did you love to wrestle and whatever and what have you, and it's really hard to narrow it down to one person. But at the top of the list, I would have, Jake was one of them. In terms of being, like there were several guys like Dick Murdoch, Killer Carl Cox. Those guys were they were the stars when I was beginning, just like when Jake was beginning. With Jake, when I first met Jake, he was a referee. Mm-hmm. He was Fred Platt, the referee. And so when he and I got together, I mean, it was just one of those things. And I think part of it was, we both grew up in the business. Both of our fathers were wrestlers, and not always, but most of the time, when you see a guy who has been raised in the wrestling business and their father was a wrestler, they're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk, Iron Mike DiBiase, Ted DiBiase, Grizzly Smith, who was with Jake's dad, and there's Jake. Who else we got? Well, Blackjack Mullivan, Barry Wynn. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's like, it doesn't always happen, but 90% of the time it does.
The track record is there. Nowadays you see Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton.
Exactly.
A lot of really talented folks who are second or third or even fourth generation wrestlers.
Yeah. So.
Well, I was joking with Jake about this moment on the podcast because we covered this exact same thing on the Snake Pit. And one of the things that I brought up to him is like, it's kind of funny to see Vince McMahon's sort of skewed perception of things through this angle, which is like, it's okay for my baby face to steal something as long as the guy he's stealing it from is an asshole. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Ted, what do you make of that? Is it fine for a baby face to do this to a heel, even though it's kind of morally wrong?
Well, hey, it's wrestling. Yeah, it was, if I would do it, I mean, I think that I would. It's kind of like because I'm a heel and everybody knows I'm a heel, and they want to see me get my ass kicked, and the whole thing about the snake is like most of whoever Jake's going to wrestle doesn't want to get anywhere near that snake, and I didn't want to get anywhere near the snake, but
For a shoot.
but so like he says, he picks up my belt and goes, "You want the belt? Go get it." I thought it was great.
For my money, it's a good moment. Jake's got this anti-hero kind of vibe to him. He always has, where he's like, he's a good guy, but whenever he beats somebody, he kind of humiliates them. He puts a snake on them and stuff like that. So it's like he's a good guy who's kind of a badass, and I think that
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
yeah. And I think that's the best way to go.
Jake mentioned that even though he was supposed to be in possession of the belt, of course, after this, that the WWF still wanted you to travel with the belt, and they'd give it to him once everyone was at the building. So, Ted, you're still traveling with the belt. You've been traveling with it for like a year at this point now. How much of a pain in the ass was it to travel around with the belt in a Halliburton, and this thing is valued at like $40,000?
It was a real pain in the ass. I mean, and again, they took a Halliburton briefcase and gutted it, put foam padding in it, and basically made it look like a ring box.
Mm.
And the belt fit right down. When it was folded, it fit right in that Halliburton briefcase. And I had to take that thing everywhere I went, And I remember one night, I think we were in Boston, and we went somewhere after the show and had a few drinks and everything. Something I don't know what got into me about. Oh my gosh, where's the belt? Where's the belt? We went back to whoever I rode over there with. When it wasn't there, and come to find out, I don't know. I put it in the referee's trunk or something. But I was always afraid I was going to. I mean, 40 grand.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I had to carry a thing with me anytime we went across the border. And we go back and forth to Canada a little bit, but anywhere we went, I had to, where I was going through customs, and I had to show them, something that, its estimated value, and that's what it was, 40 grand.
I mean, for our listeners, just imagine walking around with a briefcase with like $40,000 cash in it. That's essentially what Ted was having to do here all over the country.
Well, because and again, all the stones in the belt, they're not all diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the stones in the face of the belt, they're called what you call cubic zirconium. And when I heard that, I asked my wife. I said, "What the hell is that?" And she goes, "That means they're almost a diamond, but not quite." I don't know how you can be almost and not, anyway. So, each one of those stones, I guess, was worth about $50. There were 700 of them in the face of the belt. And I think I've already told this to a lot of people, but if you looked on the back of the belt, where nobody ever saw the back of the belt,
mm-hmm.
But at the back of the belt, at the top, on the back was, and I said, "What this?" And I said, "They said, well, there were three little." I said, "Well, what are those?" And they told me, they said, "Ted, those are real diamonds." Why? Nobody's going to see them. He says, "Well, if anybody ever asks you, are the diamonds in the belt real? You can say yes, and you won't be lying." Gosh, so anyway, there you go.
Well, Jake also mentioned when I was talking to him about this that he used to mess with you a little bit with this belt, and he'd maybe swipe it every once in a while or hide it from you and get you all worried about it. Do you have any memories?
Oh
of
yeah,
this?
yeah. He was, that's what guys do, Yeah. But here's the thing. I said, well, I wonder what I could do to Jake. I said, well, I could get Damien and Heidi, but your brother, I didn't want to get anywhere near that snake. Yeah.
Jake would have been relieved to have that thing gone for a night or two. He'd be like, "Oh, good, somebody else is dealing with him."
Gosh.
That thing was like he would put it in the bathroom overnight when he's in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And he put it in like a bathtub, but sometimes this thing would come up out of the tub. He said every once in a while it would like tear the sink off the wall, tear the toilet out of the floor, like. And who's stuck paying for it?
Oh,
Jake.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, thank you. I don't think I'd like to travel with one.
No.